Sorry, we are 9 minutes behind schedule. I had to move really quickly to make some things happen. It's your boy, Coach White, your self improvement coach, man. And welcome to Coach Class with Coach. If you're joining in via YouTube, salute, salute. And if you're joining in via Facebook, salute, salute. Let me let TikTok in the room. All right, TikTok. What up? What up? What's up, good people? Pray that all is well in your world. And I pray that today is going phenomenally well on purpose. So, again, I apologize for starting 10 minutes late today. Uh, and I'm going to thank you guys in advance, even for those who join in for a short period of time. So, because we are 10 minutes over, the class will go until 8:40 tonight. All right, so make sure we get our 30 minutes in. All right. Again, if you join in via TikTok, you will not be able to see the presentation. But if you'd like to see the presentation, you can venture over to my YouTube channel at Darrell White, and you will be able to see the presentation on the screen. All right. While I wait for my brother to join in and whatever other co-hosts he may bring with him, let's get into some announcements real quick. So, the social media pages. If we are not connected via YouTube through the gallery that tells your story channel, you will not be able to see any events that we have coming up when they do come up. So make sure that we're connected on the gallery that tells your story channel on YouTube. And yeah, that way you'll be privy to whatever events I host. Also, as I mentioned before, Darrell White. You can check my channel out on YouTube so you can stay abreast of any of the coach classes with coach that occur every Wednesday from 8 to 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and every Bible study that we have on Sundays from 12 to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If we are not connected on TikTok, you can follow me at Darrell White. And if we're not connected on TikTok or, did I say Facebook last time? If we're not connected on Facebook, if I didn't say that already, let's connect. You can follow me at Darrell White. And if we're not connected on TikTok and IG, you can find me at Darrell Dr. White. That's Darrell Dr. White. All right. Okay, let me show you guys what those channels look like so that you know it when you see it. I know for me, I'm a visual person. Let me scroll down here. So the gallery that tells your story channel will appear as such. And these are the episodes that I had on. Shout out to Dr. Dean at Love Radio Network. These are the episodes from that particular network that you will see, which encompasses what we call the lounge. Shout out to Dax. Shout out to my wife. Shout out to 50. Shout out to Jazz. We had some really, really good conversations that I would love to get you guys feedback on. And some really dope interviews with some really good authors. Shout out to my sister Linnell Osborne. Some good information about her book. And then when you get to the bottom of the screen, you'll see two of the events that we hosted maybe last year or the year before last. All right. So that's what that channel will look like. So check that out and give me some feedback. Also, Darrell White, that's me. I'll show you what my YouTube channel looks like so that you know it when you see it. So it would look like so. Author, speaker, and self-improvement coach for youth, adults, and families. So if you look on the right-hand side, you could scan the QR code to get direct access to my coaching calendar in the event that you want to become a client or if you want to become a coach yourself. All right, so I have all the prior Bible studies, not all, but some of the most recent Bible studies that we have on Sundays, and I have some of the coach classes here. And I have a no funerals event coming up. So I gave you guys a sneak peek of the no funeral events and the episodes as well. And if you go to this channel, you'll have access to all of my social media pages. Okay. All right. Let me shut that down. And you know, I have books for sale, both my wife and I. So let me show you what those look like. And these are all available on Amazon and Kindle. My really dope poetic novel called 50 Shades of She is available on Amazon and Kindle, and that's what that book cover looks like. So you can check that out, purchase that, and give us some feedback. All right. Then we have I Do, I Did, and It Didn't. So I'll show you guys what that looks like. Give me 1 second. Jamal, checking with you in 1 second. Let me get through this real quick, my brother. So this is I Do, I Did, and It Didn't. And all of these three that I'm about to show you guys are all Christian fiction novels. That's available again on Amazon and Kindle. I had the pleasure of doing this collective project with Rock. Shout out to my brother Robert Doolin, my sister Anastasia Courtney, and Taisha Williams. We had a ball with this book. So check that out. And then we also have Forsaking All Others, Aiden and Nicole. This is a project that I did with my lovely wife. Also available on Amazon and Kindle. Now, you'll see a lot of Forsaking All Others. So you will have to make sure that when you search for this book on Amazon, you add Aiden and Nicole. All right. So this is what that book cover looks like. Forsaking All Others, Aiden and Nicole. Honored to do that project with my wife. And then last but not least, we have The Invisible Marriage, which is my solo project. Show you what that what that looks like. So you got here it is. Invisible Marriage is a spinoff of I Do, I Did, and It Didn't. And it is also a part of Aiden's Journey. So Aiden's Journey is comprised of The Invisible Marriage, Forsaking All Others, Aiden and Nicole, and my new project that should be out in a few weeks is called Intersections. Really dope project I did with shout out to Dax, shout out to my wife, and 50 as well. We had really a lot of fun with that book project as well. So that'll be out in a couple of weeks. All a part of Aiden's journey. All right. So let's see what other announcements we have really quickly. Coach class. Again, every Wednesday from 8 to 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. And Bible study is Sundays from 12 to 1 Eastern Standard Time. And also, I have a special going on for those that want to come on board for coaching. Uh, you pay $175 for annual membership, and you pay $50 a month. Or the other option is to pay $150 for annual membership, and you pay $75 a month. So if you're interested uh, in becoming a coach client, and I have that special running for a short period of time. So jump on it while it's hot, man. If you guys have any questions, send me a direct message and we can chat a little further. So now let me bring my brother from the same mother up just to check in with you. How you doing, champ?
So, bro, you feel?
Man, all is well, man. I'm still smiling, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. How you doing, man? How was your week?
Man, we were good, bro. I was putting up a fence uh
Okay.
yesterday and Monday and Tuesday. So we
Okay.
was outside, doing that. I be doing that stuff on one of my bros a contractor, so
Got you.
I be working with him doing stuff.
Okay.
So it's just
Nice.
been learning the game, learning electrician stuff and all that. So
Okay.
putting up a fence. We
Awesome.
got put a floor down tomorrow. Working, you feel me?
Yeah,
Getting
yeah,
to
I can dig it. I can dig it with a shovel, brother. Cool enough, man. Always thanks for being a consistent co-host.
you already.
All right, let's get into this, man. We got some fun stuff to talk about. So if you guys are joining us for the first time, again, if you're on TikTok, you won't be able to see the presentation, but you can venture over to my YouTube channel, Darrell White, and you can see the presentation uh, if you so choose. But if not, be at peace where you are. So let's get into the quote of the day, man. Now, the three pillars that I coach from CPS, conflict resolution, problem solving, and overall self improvement. I think this one today, this class is going to be more about problem solving. It could fall into conflict resolution, and let me distinguish the two. You can have a problem that's not necessarily a conflict. Conflict usually involves someone else, right? But problems are more about the individual. And sometimes we need help navigating through whatever problems life will bring. And that's what you had me for to help you with. Today, I think this falls more under conflict resolution. And if I can put this in a subcategory, it would be interpersonal relationship skill development. All right, so I'm going to share the quote of the day. I'll read this three times as I do in each class, and then we'll jump into the article of the day. And we can pick it apart, all right? So this is a quote by Felicia Rashad. So I'll read it three times, and then we can give it some context as we get into the article. She says, you have to learn how to care about people without taking on all of their problems. You have to learn how to care about people without taking on all of their problems. Let me read it one more time for the people in the back. You have to learn how to care about people without taking on all of their problems. So I want you guys to chew on that for a minute. And then I'll stop sharing here. And let's get some more context from the article today. Let's learn together, shall we? This article, and as you guys know, we review the majority of the articles that we review are from Psychology Today. So this is from Dr. Jennifer Kalufskar, if I'm pronouncing her last name right. It's called My Problem or Yours. My problem or yours. And the subtitle is Owning Others' Problems Can Hurt Relationships and Mental Health. All right, let's get into this. She says Angie's friend tells her she's selfish for not boycotting a store that silenced their workers' union. Greg's roommate gets annoyed at him for not hanging out because he wants to study for midterms. Carla wants to leave a volunteer group but is worried that the director will call her a quitter. So she highlighted Angie's story, Greg's story, and Carla's story. Now check this out. She says these are situations similar to those my clients face, which lead them, being the client, to experience distress over other people's emotions. Are you hearing this? She says, for people pleasers like me, such conflicts seem like damned if you do, damned if you don't situations. We feel forced, and I say that word with emphasis, to choose either to stew in resentment or bear the brunt of other person's demands if we confront them. In some cases, we fear our own emotions will become too difficult to control. I can relate to this because there have been times when my resentment spilled over into hurtful words I later regretted, she says. I spent years trying to crack this anger shame cycle and concluded that much of it could be mitigated, listen to this, if I compartmentalize which emotional reactions were my responsibility and which were the other person's. For example, she says, while Angie, Greg, and Carla's distress are their problems to cope with, the issues others were having with them are theirs. Sure, she says, there are plenty of people who don't take enough responsibility for their pain they cause others. Here, though, I focus on the difficulties that emerge when people like me lean too far in the other direction of making others' emotions their problem. We have trouble distinguishing when others' negative reactions toward us are their problem, and we believe, which is a big little word, that if we don't concern ourselves with their emotions, we will come off as uncaring. I'm going to highlight this. I'm going to pause here and I'm going to highlight this section of the article. This stands out to me. Let's pick this apart a little bit. She says there are plenty of people who don't take enough responsibility for the pain they cause others. So as a journal entry, I'm going to highlight this section. I'm going to pull up my chalkboard here. Let me share my chalkboard. Because at this point of the article, warrants some journaling on our part. So here we go. Let me paste this section here. All right, let me expand this a little bit on the screen. Put this right here in the middle. Let me expand this a little more. All right, let's pick this apart. There are plenty of people who don't take enough responsibility for the pain they cause others. Let's stop right there. Let me separate this. Here's a journal entry. Journal. Let me bring this down a little bit. Journal/reflection. We always start with a question, right? So the question is, and we're doing some introspection. So when you journal, it's really important to look inward. Because a lot of us, as Jamar and I have discovered as coaches, have a big problem accepting responsibility for the pain that we cause others. So in your journal reflection, you're going to write, let's see, that's how we can make this. There are plenty of people who don't take enough responsibility for the pain they cause others. Or you're going to identify the people in your life that you have hurt, but haven't accepted responsibility for the pain you caused. Let me look at this. I might want to change this up a bit. Suppose you're going to identify the people in your life that you've hurt, but haven't accepted responsibility for. Let me see, but haven't accepted responsibility. Identify the people in your life that you've hurt, but haven't accepted responsibility for hurting. I think that would be a more simplified version. And then you're going to say in your journal, in your reflection, why haven't you accepted responsibility for hurting these I want you to really, really think about this. Why haven't you accepted responsibility for hurting these individuals? That's what you're going to do in your journal reflection. And then your action step, I'll write down your action step, is going to be to contact these individuals. Contact those individuals to apologize for the pain that you've caused. And this is going to require humility on your part. And this all has to be motivated by love. All right. So let me recap. You're going to identify in your journals, you're going to identify the people in your life that you've hurt, but haven't accepted responsibility for hurting. And you're going to ask yourself, why haven't you accepted responsibility for hurting these individuals? And then your action step is going to be to contact those individuals, if you can, to apologize for the pain that you've caused. All right. So I'm going to put this in quotations because this is from the article. All right. And then I'm going to scroll down here a little bit. And the rest of the article goes on to say, here, though, I focus on the difficulties that emerge when people like me lean too far in the other direction of making others' emotions their problems. Making other people's emotions your problem. She goes on to say, we have trouble distinguishing when others' negative reactions toward us are their problem. There's so much here that we could journal. And we believe that if we don't concern ourselves with their emotions, we will come off as uncaring. All right, so I'm going to get rid of this part right here. Let me get rid of that part. And this is another reflection here. So I'll put journal/reflection. Actually, let me put that out. We're almost running out of time. We might have to do this in 2 parts. Journal/reflection. All right, let's see how we can frame this section in the form of a question and do some introspection. All right. Here, though, I focus on the difficulties that emerge when people like me lean too far in the other direction of making others' emotions their problem. When have you made, or let's say, identify some instances where you made other people's emotions your problem. Identify your journal. Number 2, identify you made other people's emotions your problem. And we're going to have to circle back with some action steps for that. But let me highlight journal reflection. What you're going to do with me or any other coach that you have is you're going to use this as a conversation starter in your next coaching session. All right. Let me scroll up here. Pardon me for being a perfectionist. I like to do everything. Make sure the presentation looks appealing. All right. So let's stop sharing. We only got a few minutes left. Stop sharing here. Let's get back to the article for a second. So we'll try to do part 2 next week. Let me see. Let's go on just a little bit further. Next portion of the article. She says, ironically, though, this kind of thinking fuels resentment, which is poison for relationships. It does so by setting the stage for what? For constructing a story of being a victim oppressed by the other's excessive demands, or blaming yourself for their problems and believing you have to make up for it by appeasing them. So this is very clear for the people pleasers. All right. She says signs that you are creating kind of story include, check this out, obsessing about interactions with individuals involved, feeling resentment and bitterness, and having a lot of why me thoughts, such as, why do I put more effort and still get the most flack? Generally, she says, I found that allowing people to own their problems is a gift to all involved. It means you can channel your urge to care by caring enough to give others the freedom to manage their own issues. Allowing others to own their problem inspires what she calls radical openness, which is a philosophical principle from radically open dialectical behavior therapy that is important for mental health. It entails being curious about how others see the world and questioning your perceptions without excessive self criticism or defensively reacting to others. And then she provides another example. So, what we'll do, since we're running short of time, is we'll pick up from here next class with the example of how compartmentalizing problems can strengthen relationships. And they give an example of a 9-year-old daughter. All right. This is some good stuff, man. So let me stop sharing the article for a second. Looks like my brother got bumped out. So we'll add him back to the stream. And let me just for the sake of recap, I'll go over the quote one more time. And then I'll go over the journal or reflection. And then I'll wrap it up. So the quote of the day was from Phylicia Rashad. She said, you have to learn how to care about people without taking on all of their problems. All right. So that was the quote of the day. Your journal entry so far is going to be as follows. So your first journal entry, let me put number 1 here. I'm sorry. Number 1 is going to be to identify the people in your life that you've hurt, but haven't accepted responsibility for hurting. You're going to ask yourself in your journal, why haven't you accepted responsibility for hurting these individuals? And your action step is going to be to contact those individuals, if you can, to apologize for the pain that you've caused. And then the second journal entry is going to be, this is number 2. We put number 2 right here. It's going to be to identify some instances where you've made other people's emotions your problem. All right. And we haven't identified an action step for this, but we'll identify one for the next class. And sorry, we went 4 minutes over. And like I said, we usually go from 8 to 8:30, but we started 10 minutes over. So I apologize for my lateness, but you know, as the young people would say, sometimes life be lifing. All right. So now, let me turn it over to my brother from the same mother, so I get his wisdom before we close out today. So, what say you, brother, about this topic?
Uh, Accountability is the highest form of self-love.
Love it.
So, um, I would say ask yourself that. You know, sit with yourself, write that down. So if you're not taking accountability, what did I say? You know, and a lot of times, accountability feel like an attack when you're not ready to admit how your actions affect others.
Yes, sir.
So um, people get defensive because they're not ready to take that accountability for their actions.
Yes, sir.
So, but again, if you don't take it, then it says accountability is the highest form of self-love. So, and you get your power back when you can do that. So, take your power
Absolutely.
back.
Yes, sir. Thank you for your wisdom, good brother. And just to add on to that, in closing, I would just say that um, we all play a part in our relationship, in the direction of our relationship. And there's only two seeds that can be planted: good seeds that warrant uh, edification and construction, or bad seeds that warrant destruction and everything that opposes edifying. Once you realize that your actions have either planted bad seeds or good seeds, and in this instance, we're talking about words, actions that comes from bad or toxic thinking or thought patterns, has contributed. We have to realize, rather, that those bad seeds were planted because of us. What we said or didn't say, what we did or didn't do, and we have to own our part in that relationship dynamic. I don't care if it's husband and wife. I don't care if it's brother and sister, whether it's friend, whether it's parent or child, whatever relationship dynamic it is. We have contributed to that by what we said or didn't say, did or didn't do, and we have to own our part. So if you guys follow through with the journal entry, which requires reflection and introspection, that's the first step in the right direction. All right. So my brother, I salute you. Thank you for being consistent, for being a consistent co-host. And we're gonna go ahead and shut down
Bro.
streams. Again, guys, sorry we went 7 minutes over, but we appreciate you guys even if you checked in for a little bit. So TikTok salute. Thank you guys for joining. Hope you guys will join on Sunday for Bible study with Coach. Lord willing, if not, we'll see you guys next Wednesday. As we said in my era, same bad time, same bad channel. Peace. All right. Facebook, YouTube, salute. Love you guys. See you guys next time. Peace.